plate early for some of the hits, and then didn't have quite his good slider like he's had the first couple outings, handful of outings. So more than anything, it just kind of boils down to the execution of the off speed. Well, it's a tough game, regardless of home, road, first game, last game. It's we got beat up pretty good. So the best part about it is it's over, and we can get back out here tomorrow.
Chiefs.
So as far as the injuries go, I know Xavier's the big question, and he's rehabbing and working his shoulder, and we'll just see where it goes day by day here. See where we end up. As far as the game goes, we've got to obviously coach better and play better. I take full responsibility for that. So, and we'll get that worked out. There were some good things mixed in there, but there's some things we've got to fix, and I know the players are aware of that, and the coaches are aware of it. So we'll get busy on that. We've got a good Eagles team coming in here, and look forward to playing right here at GH Field, Arrowhead Stadium, and against against a good football team. So with that, time's yours.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810. WHB, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you listening on this Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Stephen St. John today joined by Nate Bukaty for a couple of hours. We also have Jake Gutierrez and lots of guests on the show. We'll talk to Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold in the next segment. Then former Chiefs wide receiver Mark Borichter, Jeff Chadilla from NFL Network and NFL.com in the 8 o'clock hour. Former Royals reliever Jamie Bluma will talk about the disappointing game last night, the disappointing loss by the Royals to Cleveland. And Andy Rogers will do the same, Royals beat reporter for MLB.com. Things are not going well for the Royals, as they were embarrassed last night in what most everyone described as a huge series against Cleveland, because it is a huge series against Cleveland. 4 games in Cleveland, and round 1 goes to the Guardians last night, 10-2. The Royals flirted with getting no hit, ended up breaking up the no-hitter late in the game. Michael Massey with a hit, and the Royals end up putting up 2 runs in the 9th, meaningless, because they were down 10-0 after, surprisingly, Ryan Bergert, who'd been terrific since being acquired from San Diego, got absolutely hammered. 3 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 8 runs, 3 walks, and just got destroyed, and the Royals lose 10-2. And while that was happening, Seattle beat the St. Louis Cardinals. And so that's not good either. And as you heard the Cleveland broadcast crew mention, Cleveland snuck past Kansas City last night. And so now, just a few days after I was celebrating with friends, watching the Royals, keeping one eye on the Royals game during the Chiefs game and watching them win, and they were only 1 game out of a wild card spot. 1 game out. Now they've quickly fallen back to 3 games out. And now not only are they chasing Seattle, they are once again chasing multiple teams. Texas is a game and a half in front of the Royals, and now Cleveland is a half game in front of the Royals. So the Royals 3 games behind the Mariners, a game and a half behind Texas, and half a game behind Cleveland. So not good news for the Royals. And there's not much time left. And so every time we come on the show and talk about a disappointing loss, that is one less game they'll have to make up ground on the teams in front of them. But again, things change very quickly in this wild card race, so I will hesitate before I declare them dead or done from the race. But they don't have many chances left. And they do have another crack coming up at Seattle, and that starts Tuesday, September 16th. But for that to matter, they need to turn things around quickly in these 3 games that they have left at Cleveland, and then a very tough series this weekend in Philadelphia against the Phillies. So at least they weren't no-hit, I guess. Doesn't matter, they still would have lost, but that's that. And then you hear Andy Reid talking about Xavier Worthy. Not really much information there again. Taking it day by day. What do we take away from that? They're just going through the process. I mean, I don't know. It's, again, no idea what to think when it comes to Xavier Worthy and his injury. But it's not good.
Day by day.
Just like that game wasn't good. And just like it's not good to be facing the Philadelphia Eagles coming up on Sunday with the possibility of starting the season 0-2. I think the Chiefs are going to win, mostly because, I mean, just going with the odds here that they're too good to start 0-2, but my confidence has certainly been shaken. I didn't like many things that I saw on Friday night. But if we've learned anything, we know the Chiefs can adjust and fix some things that perhaps don't look very good and turn things around in a hurry. And they're going to have to, because they're taking on the defending world champs coming up on Sunday at Arrowhead in a 3:25 kickoff. And again, Andy Reid describing Xavier Worthy as day-to-day. An indication, as Ian Rappaport wrote, that the plan is to rehab and attempt to play with a brace rather than immediate surgery. And that sounds all good, but I mean, is that going to work out? Or are they just going to try to delay the inevitable and then he ends up missing time later? I don't know. It sucks. It just seems like we are damned to never see a healthy Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown all on the field at the same time together. We've been waiting patiently, and apparently it's not going to happen. So it's a good idea. I mean, it seemed nice. It looked good in training camp last year. I mean, I saw it. I don't think you guys saw it, but I saw it. It was fun. They're all 3 of them running out there together, catching footballs, having fun. You know, I don't know that we'll ever see it at Arrowhead Stadium, though, in an actual game.
The shoulder things are scary, man.
You think?
I know a guy that hosts a radio show that's told me about shoulder problems.
Yeah. Hopefully this isn't. I mean, but I don't know. See,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what damage was done. I have no idea what damage was done.
Yeah.
But I mean, he needs his shoulder a lot more than I need mine. But it is what it is.
Day by day.
Yeah. It's I mean, going into last week, there was so much optimism and enthusiasm, and even like Friday, when I still thought the Chiefs were going to win, and then I saw the Royals close out the game, and then they're a game out. Like, man, this is exciting. The Royals are only a game out. The Chiefs, hey, you know what? They're going to come back. They're going to win this game against the Chargers because that's just what they do. That's what happens. And then tomorrow's the border war. I'm really feeling it. This is good. This is great. Watching it with friends. This is fantastic. You know? And then the Chiefs don't win. And now it seems like, you know, hey, they might turn around and win tonight, win a couple of games against Cleveland. But it feels like the Royals are starting to just, you know.
They're wobbling.
Last night was not good. That did not look like a team that was locked in, ready to chase down a wild card spot. And there's just so many, you know, only so many chances now for them to. Well, they can't afford it, especially playing against a team that just passed them up. And so that doesn't seem promising. Then right after that, you know, Xavier Worthy, all these things. But
hey, man, at least you're a Missouri
I was
fan.
gonna say, thank God for Bo Prevula, right?
I mean,
don't you agree? I mean,
no,
the Bo show.
He was very good.
But I mean,
It
like,
sucked
no,
for
for me.
Yeah, for you. Yeah, happy
Like
for
you
you.
would see, like that would be like, thank God for him.
You had the day of your life. You're catching field goals.
Bo show.
You're throwing spirals back onto the field.
I only caught one field goal.
Well, you're catching a field goal. You're living your best life.
Oh, and Bethany, they got a video of the aftermath. They didn't see me holding the football up, but they saw me like turn around and go,
Oh, that's awesome.
telling people behind me that I might have ripped my shoulder apart.
Yeah, and I know that you don't care about this at all, but the U.S. men's national team lost 2-0 this weekend. I just had a rough weekend. It was a lot of bad stuff for me.
Was it a
Difficult.
meaningful game? Or
No,
was it
I mean they've only got a few games left before the World Cup, and they're giving no reason for optimism. So it's just one more thing. I know nobody cares, but
they like to play when a lot of other things are going on.
yeah,
don't
it's whatever. But yes,
it's an observation.
Bad weekend for the little guy over here.
Where did you watch the game at?
At home. My sister and brother-in-law came over. It was a game, you know. It was a game. They made it close. It was fun to watch until the end. But that Xavier Worthy thing just took a lot of air out of the sails in the Chiefs game. You know, I mean, because of exactly what you said. It's like, man, are we ever going to get to see these guys?
No.
All out on the field and healthy at the same time?
No, that's pretty much, you know, because he's not going to be this year.
Doesn't look like it.
No.
Yeah,
no,
like if he plays,
no,
he's going to be
no.
playing at what?
Yeah, man, I don't know. You know.
I kind of feel like we need to ready ourselves for a rough start to the season and then not lose faith, you know, because they will get Rashee Rice. They will be a good team this year, but the start to the season is a rough schedule.
Just get to 3-3.
I mean, look, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if they went on Sunday.
Yeah, and I mean
just get to 3-3.
they're only like 1.5 point underdogs, I think.
There were just things on Friday that were super irritating. Like, you know, the Jawan Taylor experience over and over again. It's just like, I mean, if you think it's frustrating, or if you don't think it's frustrating, then ask Travis Kelce how he felt about the Jawan Taylor experience on Friday. To where he felt it necessary to headbutt him and scream at him, you know, kind of what we all wanted to do, headbutt somebody and scream at him because of, you know, repeated penalties. You know, back to wondering if Suamataia is going to be able to handle left guard or get Patrick Mahomes' head knocked off at some point. You know?
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm still not sold there. And so, you know, and just the way the game ended with what Chris Jones did and Drew Tranquill and Chris Jones getting after each other And I get it. I understand why Tranquil was pissed. And that was a tough way to lose that game. You know, the secondary, the wide open receivers over and over again for the Chargers. It was a very frustrating game to watch. And it would have been a far more comfortable win for the Chargers if not for the heroics of Patrick Mahomes. Because like I said yesterday, he had 4 or 5 plays that were just stunning. And was he perfect? No. But, I mean, it looked more, it looked like last year. A lot of things reminded me of last year.
Yeah, I think that's part of it is like, it's not just that it was frustrating, it's concerning. You know, some of the things that went wrong, it's like, that could be a problem. that wasn't just a problem for this game, but that could be like a problem for the season. I'm not so worried about Chris Jones and Drew Tranquil getting after each other. You know, there's competitors. That stuff happens, but it's, as you said, like the receivers running wide open down the field. The offensive line issues that you're hoping were going to be fixed, and then the wide receiver issues, those all feel like they could be problems, and I hope hopefully that's not the case. I mean, hopefully they get them solved enough. But when you're dealing with problems like that and you got this schedule in front of you, tough combo.
They'll be fine.
Oh, of
They'll
course.
still win the division. I'm very certain. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they win on Sunday. It's just, you know, get that bad taste of Friday out of your mouth and move on.
Do you come away with that with any more appreciation for the Chargers, thinking that they could be more of a threat? Like, oh, no, Herbert's got a real coach. Now maybe he is cut out for taking that next step. That was the one thing I kind of thought watching the game was maybe.
I got to win a playoff game before I say anything.
Yeah.
It was one game. I mean, I don't know, maybe.
He made some big plays in important times.
Sure. He played fine.
He's had his moments. He's had moments in the past. But I do think I wonder, that's the concern I have is now that he's finally got a real coach, maybe he takes a step.
None of those things are revealed until the postseason, unfortunately, for Chargers fans. You won't find out. I mean, he had a really good night in September against the Chiefs and won a game. And so we'll see. I don't know. Sure, why not? They're good. I don't think they're better than the Chiefs, but they played a really, really good game on Friday night, and Justin Herbert deserves credit. Jake, were you going to say something there?
I'm just, you hesitate to be overreactionary after week 1, but I think going in after week 1, being overreactionary, I think the Chargers might be a bigger threat to the division than the Broncos.
Yeah.
And going into the season, I thought the Broncos were going to be the better of the two teams just because of that defense.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't want to be too overreactionary, but the Chargers did impress me. I mean, I didn't see them coming out and just firing the ball everywhere. You know, I don't think the Chiefs did either, obviously. But you know, Harbaugh, I like to keep it between the tackles. He's going to run the hell out of the ball, and he came out throwing.
I don't know. I just I think in the past to conclusions that people have jumped to after 1 or 2 weeks of an NFL season, and then a month or 2 later, you look like a moron for taking, you know, remember when we thought this or thought that?
Yeah.
It's just, I'll check back with me in 4 or 5 weeks, and I'll tell you what I think of the Chargers.
Yeah.
You know, a lot. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the Chargers, but the Chiefs, there were some. They didn't play well. They were sloppy. You know.
Yeah.
The Chargers played really well, and the Chiefs did not.
Well, and just think, you know, that it's always talked about how Andy Reid scripts out his first 15 or 20 plays, and like how vital of a role that Worthy was in those first scripted
for
plays.
the whole game. The game plan was built around.
But I mean, they immediately had to shift, and it was obvious that they couldn't until the second half.
I mean, how would the Chargers have done if Lab McConkey got hurt immediately?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. That would have been tough to overcome. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, but hey, look, it's part of football. Injuries are part of football. And the Chargers that one night deserved to win. But did I look at them and think, oh, they're gonna win the division? No, I don't think that. I never thought that about the Broncos either, because I'm not on the Bo Nix bandwagon like everyone else is. You know, oh, that's Drew Brees that can actually run. They go, okay, that's not, you know. Those aren't unreasonable expectations at all. So.
Yeah, that's fair to put on the kid.
We will take a break. We'll talk to Lance Leipold after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. That nagging joint pain, you know the one. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long, but that stops now. QC Kinetics is here to flip the script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. Not cover it up, not cut it out, actually helping heal and restore. And the results? Long-term lasting relief. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery. Just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRI, your x-rays, and they'll make sure you're a good candidate. Your first consultation is free, so there's no reason to wait. Call QC Kinetics to see what they can do for you. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. They're located off 435 in State Line and also in Gladstone. 816-412-6299. And don't forget, they have appointments available on Saturday. QC Kinetics. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Stephen St. John here with Nate Bukaty and Jake Gutierrez. Thank you for joining us. We will now talk with Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold, who joins the show every week. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Good to be with you.
Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. It was, I'll say this, for college football and atmosphere and what college football is supposed to be, I thought Saturday was a great atmosphere, and the return of the border war. I'm just curious, that was your first opportunity to coach in that series, that rivalry, and I know that the outcome wasn't what you were looking for, but that was still a hell of a game that entertained a lot of people. Just your thoughts on getting a chance to coach in that game that took place for the first time since 2011.
Yeah, I think it lived up to everything that had been talked about. You know, it was a great atmosphere, great home field advantage for Missouri. The crowd was loud into it. I thought it was an exciting game, and, you know, we obviously wanted to go a different direction. It wasn't as clean as we had hoped and needed it to be to win, and they definitely outplayed us to win the football game. But like you said, is if you're just tuning on a game or whichever side, it was full of a lot of emotions and intensity, and a lot of good things happened for both teams. But unfortunately, we're on the wrong side of it this week.
You know, I was around a lot of Missouri fans and Kansas fans before and after the game, and the one thing that everyone was agreed upon was, boy, this wish this game could be played every year. I know next year it'll be played in Lawrence, but then it goes away again. Is this something down the road that you'd like to see your team take part in every year? Should this game be played every year?
Yeah, you know, I think it should as often as it can. You know, you can get into sometimes I don't think is quite as long of years in between is healthy or is good for it. But sometimes when there are small breaks in it, it does add to the excitement when the two teams play again. I know we talk a lot about right now in college football about the amount of conference games that all the Power Four conferences should play, and then the next topic will be how many Power Four opponents that you do play, and we're so much opposite than the sport of basketball and college basketball about scheduling out darn near decades in advance. I'm not sure why it's that way, but we are booked up, and a lot of those things have contractual obligations that make it difficult to change schedules to bring these things back as quickly as we'd like.
Do you think there should be fewer conference games? So especially now with the realignment and where some rivalries have been broken up, you would have more opportunities to schedule games like this if you didn't have as many conference games. Is that something being discussed?
Well, no, not to my knowledge that it is. I mean, because you'd say games like this should be played, and then the next comment would be is we should be in the same conference, and you know, so that would be the other thing. So it's hard to do that. I just think the biggest thing in scheduling is we need to play the same amount of conference games across the board. I could go on for an hour and my thoughts of we've gotten these conferences so big, and we talk about strength of conferences, but if you look at the power conferences, they don't play all the top teams every year in and year out that make sure that somebody has that true strength of schedule. I liked it when and I didn't have a full appreciation until I had maybe a couple of years in the league before we started adding teams. When we had 10 teams and played everybody, you truly knew who the true conference, who the best teams were, who was going to the conference championships. You know who you had. Well, now, you know, we really have two conferences made up into one most years in these bigger conferences, if that makes sense.
Lance Leipold is our guest. And, Coach, getting to the game, I know one of the questions that you answered in your post-game press conference was about late in the game, 4th and 7 at your own 28 with 2:45 left, and the decision to punt versus go for it, and you obviously punted. But you did say, I think in the press conference, that you understood the argument for people that wanted you to go for it. Now that you've had time to think about that, was that easy decision? Were you absolutely like,
Yeah.
no, we're punting? Or how difficult of a decision was that in the moment?
Well, in the moment, we talked about where we were at and how far where we wanted the ball to be for us to be going for it on fourth downs. Now we have all these analytics and things that say you should go for it every fourth down. It's pretty unique and to stay aggressive. But when in today's college football, it's with the 2-minute timeout and we had our own timeouts, we knew we had to get a stop. If we don't convert 4th and 7. You're obviously the game is probably over. So, but if you can get a chance to get a hold, use those timeouts, still have at least one more stoppage, your own or the 2-minute, to utilize and go down and play for the win. You can second guess any call in college football today for all that matters. So I understand why that one would be scrutinized and things, but. I sometimes feel this way is if you're 4th and 7, you're obviously your first 3 downs haven't gone well for momentum. So you don't have a lot of momentum going for it. And again, with the opportunity, now you could say we weren't slowing them down and things like that. That's a fair criticism. But at the same time, to stop it and have a chance to get the ball back, if we go for it and don't make it, half the people would be saying, well, why didn't they punt the darn ball and stop them and use their timeout? So I understand it, and it's fair criticism.
So when you bring up a good point, like, the numbers and there's analytics and there's, the book that you look at, how much, when you're making a decision like that, but you also have to go with your gut and what's going on in the game and in different situations and what's been happening in the game and all these different factors. How much do you actually look or rely on analytics versus what you're seeing with your eyes and what your gut tells you?
There's a mixture of both. A lot of times, you have these books that give you what the percentages say when you should go for it. Like I said, it almost says you should go for every 4th down. And the analytics world will tell you the total number of possessions, and things like that say you've got to try to keep moving and doing those things. I still think there's some common sense involved that the analytics, when the book is put together, doesn't put into momentum, matchups that maybe aren't going well, a lot of different factors. Somebody might be banged up, they don't know about, game conditions can change, all those different things. So I always say is when I get the numbers, what it is for each set of downs, I usually modify it a little bit in my own mind about where it is and where it's going by the momentum of really how we're playing at the time. So it's a mixture.
Coach, you when we talk about the 4th downs as well, I think one of the biggest keys, I heard you talking after the game about how hard it was to get off the field against Missouri, and they went 4 or 5 on 4th downs, and I felt like some of those conversions were just really well executed plays, or there was a one-handed catch on the sideline at one point. In general, did you come away from that feeling like tip of the cap, they just made big plays, or were there things that you wish you had done differently or anything like that on some of those 4th downs?
Yeah, I mean, they, again, that's what usually happens, and there's a handful of plays that somebody makes that the other team didn't that are very critical. They were a lot better than us on 3rd down conversions, and definitely more in 4 or 5 in 4th down conversions while we were 2 for 2. So again, they made plays when they needed to, and again, to be a good football team and win these type of games, you have to. And again, different reasons for some of those each and every play, but again, there's something with playmakers making plays at those opportune times.
So now you have this interesting thing, Coach, where you've got like 3 off weeks, I think, kind of spaced out through the course of the season. What do you get to this week? What are some of the main things you want to focus on before you get ready for your first conference game in a couple weeks?
Well, again, we're going to start in, our first practice of the week will be here shortly. Today, again, the practices won't be quite as long as they are during a regular game week. We still will start with some early installation. This is important for us to get to, with 2 conference games. I mean, they're all important, as we know, but to start the conference season, 2 games at home, we need to get off to a good start in conference play. So we'll start on West Virginia. this week, and like I said, we'll get to work for some of our younger players, keep working development that way. Again, we've got a lot of things to clean up fundamentally. We missed too many tackles, so a lot of just basic work on those things that they're going to make us better as we go along. And there's some guys that have played a lot of football in 3 games and things that we also have to look at it and probably monitor some of their practice reps and make sure that we're as healthy as possible going into the West Virginia game.
And the conference looks interesting. There have been some surprising results in the non-con of the Big 12, but I mean, I think it's safe to say it looks like this conference really is wide open as you get ready to start conference play soon.
Yeah, again, it showed itself the last couple of years again from top to bottom. The abilities for teams to win each and every Saturday is truly the best in college football. That if you go from, like I said, from 1 to 16, who are those teams going to be? Arizona State was a great example of that last year. We've had Baylor one year, TCU, teams that aren't picked to do well. Somebody's going to come out of nowhere this year and play really good football that people didn't anticipate. And I think that's what, I think everybody's looking for that. I think that's one of the things, that has made the NFL as exciting as it is games are always close usually in the NFL. There's very few blowouts, and that's a difference. And at this time of year, people are always looking for blowouts and different things like that. But the competitiveness from week in and week out in the Big 12 is second to none.
You talked about some guys trying to get healthy too, Coach. I think it was Bengali Kamara dealing with an injury coming into the game and played. How much character did he show, and is he one of those guys that could use a little time to get healthy, so to speak?
Yeah, I can't tell you how proud I am of Bengali and what he worked through to there's a time where we didn't know if he would even play anymore this season when the injury first occurred, and then the way he came back and he's like, Coach, I want to play in that game, and as we talked, he said, we just can't throw you out there on Saturday, Bengali. You've got to practice some to know the game plan, to show us what you can do. And sure enough, he went out and got some work done on a limited basis on Wednesday and Thursday and really had a gutty performance and played well. So, yeah, he'll be one of those that we'll monitor here. He'll be in a limited situation here most of this week, but at the same time keeping him locked into what the game plan will be. Emmanuel Henderson's played a lot of football for us. Lyric Rawls has been on the field for a long time. A lot of snaps as corner. Jalen Todd, those are some of the guys. Bryce Foster was limited at the beginning of fall camp. Probably need to look at how much he's going to go through this week to make sure we keep him fresh and healthy. Like I said, there'll be a few others, but there won't be anybody that's completely shut down and given like a week's vacation or anything.
Coach, thanks for the time. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Have a great week. Thanks for the opportunity. Rock Chalk.
That's Coach Lance Leipold, who joins us every week right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Only hotel located within the Power and Light District, steps from T-Mobile Center. Visit us online at PresidentKansasCity.Hilton.com. The Hilton President Hotel, the official hotel of New Day with SSJ and proud supporter of Kansas Athletics.
This is New Day with SSJ.
Hey, Kansas City, this is Nate Bukaty here with my friends from Aesthetic Care, Med Spa, and Wellness. I see Dr. Amy Carter there, and I've been doing full blood panels here, a couple times a year just to make sure that everything's healthy. And it's really important that I've been doing so because I found out a couple of little adjustments I need to make to my health that is underway right now. I'm a little vitamin D deficient right now, and also my cholesterol is a little high, so I got to work on that. But everything at Aesthetic Care, Med Spa, and Wellness is designed to make you feel better, look better, all those things. You can get a comprehensive wellness consultation. And I'm talking about they've got weight loss, hormone balance, gut health, longevity, all these types of things they've got solutions for at Aesthetic Care Med Spa. If you're feeling tired, if you're having a tough time losing weight, maybe your sex drive isn't what it used to be, brain fog, you don't sleep well, your workouts aren't productive. If any of that stuff sounds familiar, You should check them out. No gimmicks, no pressure, just one-on-one personalized care built around you by true healthcare professionals. So check them out online, greatskinkc.com. That's the place to go. They've got multiple locations, greatskinkc.com.
Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We're now joined by former Chiefs wide receiver Mark Bowrichter. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Doing well. It was fine Tuesday morning. How are you guys?
You know, I'm getting through it. My voice is jacked up.
Well, you expended a lot of energy this weekend, though, and yesterday.
Yeah. It was great.
So congratulations to you,
thanks.
by the way,
Well,
on your win.
that had nothing to do with it, but I was there
Well,
to
I
cheer
know.
him on. You know what,
That was
though?
a good game. It was awesome.
Something to do with it?
They got juice and they saw me catch the
That's
field
right.
goal. They gave him a boost. No, but that was one of them. And I was lucky that my wife was able to go with me, just because of the friends we were with and all the things we did around the game. That was like one of the best weekends we've had in a long time. Like we were driving back and like even Sue said, "Man, that was a blast." I said, "Well, let's turn around and go back." She's like, "We got to go to work tomorrow." Whatever. But yeah, it was awesome. I'll say it again. That's like sitting there in the stands and looking around, and it just like, this is why college football's awesome.
Yeah.
This is why this game should be played. Look at this weather. Everyone's fired up. We had so much fun, and I ran into a bunch of my friends that were there cheering on Kansas, and they had fun. I brought them to some tailgates. We broke bread. We broke bourbon. Do you break bourbon? You drink bourbon. I can tell you. Easy. But we had just a tremendous time. And just like, this is what college football is all about. So it was good. And then I watched the Bo show. This Bo Prabula. Oh, boy. Fist bump there. I got a quarterback. Let's go.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're talking. He's such a handsome kid, too. You know that? Just really controls a press conference. Did you see yesterday when he was on SEC Network and when Eli Drinkwitz walked up behind him? You had to play that later. That was actually pretty funny. Hey, Drink called into the show. That was pretty good yesterday. And then they were asking Prabula if he was cool or if he was a dork. Asking if his coach
Drinkwitz
was. Yeah.
is cool or a dork?
Yeah, because, or a nerd,
Yeah.
kind of, because that's what opposing teams call him, when they're trying to talk trash to Mizzou
Yeah.
or whatever. But it was funny. He kind of
But
leans
being a
into
nerd's
it.
kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He leans into it, so
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I'm a nerd in many
Nerds
respects.
rule the world,
How about these Chiefs
Unless
wide
you're
receivers?
Mike McDaniel right now.
No, he vapes a lot.
Is he a nerd?
Offense is answer the bell, but
There you go.
answer me this, because CD said earlier he didn't think that Eli Drinkwitz was cool. Is Drink cool?
He's a nerd. He's our boy. He's a nerd at heart, but I mean, the guy somehow has the ability to relate and come off cool too, right?
I don't think Coach Drink is cool at all. What do y'all even?
Wait,
man?
wait. Are you cool? Is he cool or not?
Dude, I'm the dorkiest guy in college football, and I embrace it.
Okay, just making sure he understood that.
So they had Prabula there, and they were asking about his coach, and then when they said that, Drink was supposed to be in the room because then he walks up and stands behind him. They go, "Are you cool?" And he goes, "I'm the dorkiest guy in college football, and I embrace it."
I think that's great.
That's exactly right.
Own it.
Just be you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Chiefs lost,
They did.
and
Friday night, yes.
Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. Not a great opening week.
Whose fault was that? Or was that anyone's fault? Or like no one really established whose fault that was?
They're running a mesh concept with two crossers, right? One of those guys has to be over top of the other guy. They're trying to create a rub because you don't pick on offense. That's what defenses call it.
It's a rub.
It's a rub route. Trying to be man-to-man coverage. And there was clearly one guy was either too shallow or one guy was either too deep. That's really what it comes down to. So I don't
Kelsey
know.
knocked the piss out of him, man.
I mean, Kelsey and Mahomes have taken out wide receivers in back-to-back
That was a big hit.
That was a serious collision. So I don't know who was at fault, right? Like I can't say who's at fault. I just know what the concept of the route is. One of those guys is supposed to be on over top of the other guy on it. So unfortunate situation, but that was a car crash, right? That was a truck There's a pickup truck hitting a
sports car.
hitting a
Mini
sports
Cooper.
car.
Yeah.
It was not great.
And when you least expect it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not, you know, look, all hits, I'm sure, of that magnitude would hurt, but especially, like, you ain't got the ball and you're not, you know, at that point, you're not thinking you're going to get hit and you just get
I've always
walloped.
said this, the hits that hurt the most a lot of times are the ones you see coming, right? When you bring up a car crash on that side of things, like, it's the hits you see coming. The issue is with it, you've got Travis Kelce at 250 pounds running full speed against a wide receiver who's 165, 170 pounds. And they collide not just head on, but enough of shoulder to shoulder, right? Like the guy that's slighter in stature is going to lose that every time. Like it's just physics. So unfortunate, obviously, situation for the Chiefs, but it's not something you like to see. But you know, overall, I think everybody agrees this wasn't a great game for the Chiefs. They started really, really slow. That being said, you know, it's only week 1. I don't think there's a need to press the panic button yet with everything, but the Xavier Worthy injury certainly is concerning because it becomes a situation, and I know everything's day-to-day right now on stuff, as we all know. But, you know, what are the long-term effects of what that looks like? I know it's been reported as like a dislocated shoulder. We don't technically know what that means. You know, I think part of the Hollywood Brown scenario a year ago was, quote, a dislocated shoulder, and really it was really the collarbone. They're all connected, right? For those anatomy folks
It is kind of
out there.
significant though, because dislocated shoulders they don't seem to be. They are recurring problems a lot of times
They
for
certainly
players.
can be. They certainly can be. And you know, I know there's been some talk yesterday that this could be, you know, he could brace it up and not have to do surgery right now. Those are all possibilities. A lot of it's going to be pain tolerance. But when you factor in the Rashee Rice suspension right now, Xavier Worthy was going to be a big part of this offense. I'm not saying he's not going to be yet. We just don't know. And I think that's the unknown right now is obviously Hollywood Brown had a really good game when you look at the stats on Friday night. But, you know, he hasn't exactly stayed healthy either, right? So that's the concerning part here moving forward.
We have Mark Boerichter in studio. We'll be right back after this on WHP.
What is up, Kansas City? Jake Gutierrez here in the NFL season. We're talking Chiefs. The NFL season's rolling. We're in it. Week 1's over. Monday Night Football last night, and now we're rolling into Thursday Night Football this week with the Commanders at the Packers. Right now, Packers are a 3.5-point favorite. Take a look at that. As all odds and lines are always subject to change. But look, every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook. It's an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And new customers, DraftKings has a phenomenal deal just for you. You bet $5 and you're going to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket. What are you waiting for? New customers, NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV, $200 off. No brainer. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, you're going to get $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. It's a great deal. New customers, it's so simple to do. All you go and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use my code 810WHB, and that's going to give you that $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 and over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. No brainer. Get after it. NFL's here. It's rolling, and we're in the middle of it. It's in partnerships with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issue and see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Steve here.